the days dwindle away down here in the Grapefruit League, the roster lessens every couple of days as well. The final moves, relocations, and promotions are the only thing left before the 2015 Phillies head north. Those on the bubble and those that have shined hope to end up on the right side of the final cut and end up on the field for opening day introductions. Awfully hard to be patient when you come to spring training to see your first Phillies game or maybe get your first autograph. Well, the fans, as you can tell, some wearing ponchos, are going to have to be a little patient here today as the Phillies take on the Minnesota Twins. A little rain in the area. Now, the Phillies roster, 44 players are currently in Major League camp, including 20 pitchers, 11 infielders, and 9 outfielders. Cuts continue as we look forward to going north. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. All right, Matt, you've been in this position before where you've looked at the numbers, you've looked at the guy across from you in the locker, and you've wondered, am I going to make this team?
You're waiting for that dreaded tap on the shoulder saying the manager wants to see you. Everyone goes through it. You know, it's a team sport, but you really want to go out there and you want to make the team. So you're kind of watching, checking the stats, see how everyone else is doing. For me, what I used to do is I used to sit right in the middle of the locker room. When I knew Sunday came around and I was getting my meal money, I knew I was safe for another week. Now, it's changed nowadays, but you know, it's a fun time. There's not more really you can do about it. You go out, you play the game, you put up the numbers. If you get the tap, you go down to the minor leagues and you work on things.
All right, well, one guy or two guys, really, that have done a nice job and haven't really had to worry about that tap. Odubel Herrera is one. The Rule 5 selection, he has swung the bat well, and David Buchanan's the other.
Well, he has. Herrera has done a great job this spring getting on base, hitting the ball to left field, right field. He's got a very short swing with fastballs inside. What impressed me his last game against the Toronto Blue Jays, staying on the knuckler. He did a nice job of keeping his hands above the ball, driving the ball to left field. He brings a lot of energy. Now, David Buchanan's last start on St. Patrick's Day, his fastball was down the middle a lot, but he had really late movement. He had a lot of swing and misses. Best outing so far this spring. But for me, the key is for him is to throw first pitch strikes, followed up changeups down the zone, and he's got to control the running game.
Well, numbers-wise, both of these guys have really done a nice job, as we mentioned. Now, Herrera's got to try to figure out the outfield a little bit more, whether it be center field or left field. He's in center field today. Buchanan will be making his third start of the spring here this afternoon. And how about following up for a lot of these young players, young pitchers? How about following up success from last season to this year? Let's hear from Bob McClure.
Well, I mean, you always wonder that, but as a coach, you don't really wonder that as a player. But I think that most guys just keep getting better. You know, you'll find guys that'll have up years and down years, of course, but most guys, you know, just keep getting a little bit better. They learn a little bit more. The thing you have to guard against is some guys trying to do too much. You know, they've had some success, and now they try and do something a little different. When it's not broke, don't, try and fix it.
Well, hopefully for David Buchanan, he'll continue to pitch well here today, making his third start. He'll be opposed by right-hander Mike Pelfrey, who's only making his second start, but he's been pretty good for the Twins. He's been a reliever throughout spring training as he battles for one of their 5 starting rotation spots. Well, one guy that's been on top of his game from the start of spring training until now, and it's always going to continue, is the Fanatic, making everybody happy, getting some selfies with the crowd. He's also been entertaining for the other teams, and he's been able to pump his chest out a little bit. Lineups at first pitch when we return. White House Field. Now, things have brightened up a little bit since the last time we talked, which was just a few moments ago when the tarp was on the field. They have taken the tarp off, and people have started to get their spots out on the berm, whether it be left center field or right center field, and they've started to clean off some of the seats here at Bright House Field. And we're only a few minutes away, it looks like, from the start of today's ballgame. They're estimating that we will begin baseball about 1:20 this afternoon, and that's only because the starting pitchers are just now starting to throw out in the outfield before heading into the bullpen. There's David Buchanan, the Phillies starter. Mike Pelfrey, the Twins starter, went out a little while ago, and he is just finishing up his tossing down the right field line. And Opie Cheek is driving the tractor along the infield dirt, trying to get everything all set to go for the start of today's ballgame. We've been very fortunate, unlike back home where there's been a lot of snow and a lot of rain. We've been very fortunate that most of the precipitation that has been in the area here at Bright House Field has been late in the day. This is how much water that was sitting along the warning track. We showed you that pitchfork last week, but today that water was sitting in the warning track, and they were just trying to relieve the tension a little bit and try to absorb some of the water to go through. And people were walking around with umbrellas today and trying to stay as dry as possible, getting under cover over near the Tony Luke stand down the left field line. But as we mentioned, it started to brighten up a little bit here at Bright House Field, and we're just a little bit away from the start of today's ball game. There's Ryan Sandberg, who just emerged from the dugout. Paul Molitor, the manager of the Minnesota Twins, is still inside and now making his way out to the dugout as well for Minnesota. So we're going to step aside for just a little bit, but we promise we'll be back very shortly. Estimated start time 1:20 here this afternoon. There's Paul Molitor. While we wait for the rain to pass here in Clearwater, enjoy Call to the Hall featuring Phillies president Pat Gillick. Ready a little quicker than we anticipated, and look who's out at home plate. Yep, it's two Hall of Fame managers, Ryne Sandberg and Paul Molitor, obviously both in the Hall of Fame because of their playing careers. It's kind of an interesting storyline. Yes, this is spring training, but two Hall of Fame players have never faced off as managers before in Major League Baseball history, and Murph, the Hall of Fame is pretty proud of that today.
Yeah, and why not? Ryne Sandberg, of course, went in 2004, Paul Molitor in 2005, and believe it or not, and I found this very hard to believe, guys, first time ever that two managers in Major League Baseball have squared off against one another when they're currently in the Hall of Fame. So it's a special day here at Bright House Field, so why not have these guys throw out the first pitch? A little high and outside for both those guys, but two Hall of Famers meeting up. Now, obviously, guys, Hall of Famers have met up before, but that was before they got in as players or managers. So this is the first time, and before the game, both managers spoke about it.
Unusual in some sense, but other, in another sense, Molly was doing some things in the minor leagues, and I was in the minor leagues, and we'd coordinate and tell stories at the Hall of Fame induction weekend, and talk about everything. So, in those regards, glad to see it. Yeah. Glad to see where Molly's at.
Yeah, we've been fortunate. We crossed paths during some minor league coordinating days and Ryan's minor league managing days, and the fact that it's never happened before makes it kind of a little interesting piece of trivia. But other than that, for me, it's more about managing against a friend, and we all know it's about the players anyways. But it kind of makes it unique.
Unique indeed. It is hard to believe. We spent most of the morning, guys, as you know, talking about Hall of Fame guys that have been managers, and wouldn't he have met up against this guy, and wouldn't he have? But it always happened before they had gotten into the Hall of Fame. Well, not anymore. First time it's happening, and when the Phils play the Twins in the regular season, won't happen this year, but down the road, perhaps that'll be the first time in a
World
regular
Series, Murph. World Series.
Well, it could happen in the World Series this year. Thank you for that, Tom. But until that happens, we'll take it here in an exhibition season, and again, little piece of history at Bright House Field. I'll send it back upstairs to you guys.
Two excellent players, obviously. Yeah. Two incredibly talented offensive players, and you see the combined major league numbers: over 3,000 runs scored and over 57 hits and 516 home runs. We'll have the first pitch today between the Twins and the Phils when we return. David Buchanan and the rest of the Phillies have taken the field, so we're just about ready to get underway. We're going to be about a 20-minute delay or so. Not too shabby considering how much the rain had fallen during the early part of today. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup for the Twins, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Shane Robinson leading it off in right field. Eduardo Escobar bats second at third base. Eduardo Nunez is at shortstop. Osvaldo Arcia is in left field. He'll bat cleanup. Reynaldo Rodriguez is at first base batting fifth. Chris Herman sixth. And the bottom third of Bernier, Hicks, and then Mike Pelfrey does the pitching here today. No, they are not household names, these Minnesota Twins, but David Buchanan is becoming more of a household name in the city of Philadelphia this spring. 4 games so far, an ERA of 2.45. Matt, early on, he didn't feel like he was throwing strikes the way he needed to. It picked up his last time out against the Blue Jays.
It did. A lot of guys who throw sinker balls and little cutters, they kind of pitch away from contact. David Buchanan decided, you know what, I'm going to go after these hitters, first pitch fastball, and we'll go from there. As we see the scouting report right here, 90, 92 mile an hour fastball, cut, change, curve. The impressive was 1 earned run or less in each spring training start. He's just pitching with confidence. The thing is, he has to live down in the zone. That'll make his day a lot easier.
Well, he's expected to go at least 5 innings here this afternoon. They're starting to cut down the number of pitchers that are being used in games. First batter he'll face is Shane Robinson, who hit .304 last year in the minor leagues. So far this spring, 7 for 24. First pitch of the day is taken inside. We're underway. The count is 1 ball and no strikes.
Does it throw the first ball out? Almost that'll go to the Hall of Fame.
I guess that's the thought.
Yeah.
Next pitch is in there. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. It's kind of interesting in the history of the game, ever since the Hall of Fame first opened its doors, that 2 Hall of Fame players have not faced off as skippers. 2 balls and 1 strike to Robinson. On the inside corner, it's 2-2. Robinson last year with the Cardinals hit .150. Former 5th round draft pick of the St. Louis Cardinals. Just missed 3-2. Off the plate, over toward the crowd. One took a hop over the coaches. David Buchanan last year won 6 games for the Phillies, an ERA of 3.75. Went deep into a lot of those ball games. Over to third, big hop for Cody Ashe. Robinson does run well, but there's 1 out here in the first. Well, look at that, Matt. Blue skies up above. There was never a doubt, was there?
Never. Never. You're in Florida, you know eventually it's going to come out the blue sky.
Eventually it's going to get hot. Temperature right now 77 degrees. It's going to go up into the 80s here this afternoon. Here's Eduardo Escobar, 12 for 32 this spring, and he swings at the first pitch and hits it foul. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Escobar last year hit .275 with 6 home runs and 37 runs batted in. Late on that 91 mile an hour fastball.
Well, it's a fastball that starts down the middle of the plate and has that late run like we've seen on St. Paddy's Day, the American holiday, Tom.
I understand that it has since branched out to other places besides the United States. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Escobar does have 2 home runs. Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 outs here in the first. I'm not even sure if that's where he wanted that pitch to go.
Well, this is a changeup, and it's actually a good spot to miss. It starts outer half of the plate. You think you're going to be able to get the ball, the barrel to the ball. Eventually just goes out of the zone.
Vic Carapaz is behind the plate. Eric Cooper's at first. Phil Cuzzy is at second base, and Dan Iasonia around to third. That'll bring Eduardo Nunez to the plate. Nunez 9 for 25 this spring. Former New York Yankee.
That cutter is nasty. That's a late breaking cutter.
Yeah, I think for a lot of hitters, and you would know this better than anybody, you're thinking, all right, I got this. This is a fastball that I can handle, and then boom, at the last moment it just goes left to right.
Well, and that's a hard thing with facing a pitcher who has a good sinker and a good cutter. You have to decide which side of the plate you want to swing at.
2-1 pitch is pulled foul up the third base line.
Because there's no way you can defend both sides. If I'm going to look outer half, then I go ahead and give up on the cutter as a left-handed hitter. I give up on the inner half ball. I have to leave that ball alone until 2 strikes. Then I have to make the adjustment. But it's hard when a guy throws a good sinker and a good cutter.
You know, the key is just to locate it, and that's what he's talked about. Out toward left field, playable for Ben Revere. And he makes the catch. Ben has spent the last several days playing left field for the Phils. Pretty easy top of the first for David Buchanan. The Phillies offense will take some swings when we return. Scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the first. First chance for the Phils offense against Mike Pelfrey. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Revere, Herrera, and Utley, followed by Ryan Howard, Carlos Ruiz, and Cody Ashe. Jeff Francoeur plays right field. Dominic Brown still out with the Achilles tendonitis. Freddie Galvis at shortstop bats 8th, and batting 9th at pitching, David Buchanan. Pitchers are starting to get some hacks today. Mike Pelfrey is the pitcher for the Twins. He's not going to work as quickly as David Buchanan. It's just not in his DNA. 3 games this spring, an ERA of 1.00. Anything changed with Mike Pelfrey since we last saw him with the Mets, Matt?
If anything, I think his velocity's gone up some. He can get up to the 97 miles an hour now. That's during mid-season form, but one thing he does do is he controls the running game a little better than he used to, because he used to be hideous, holding runners on.
Ben Revere leads things off. It has not been a particularly good spring offensively for Ben. He's 6 for 50, hitting just 150. We mentioned he has spent the last several days playing left field as Odubel Herrera has played center field for the Phils. Ben said yesterday he's okay with it. I mean, he did play left field and even right field for these Minnesota Twins before the Phillies acquired him. Off the hands. 1-2. Somebody made a nice catch. I don't think he used his camera to do it. I think he just caught it barehanded. That one just missed off the outside corner. 2-2.
By the way, Ben, his last game here, made a great throw to home plate. Throw out smoke at home. Very strong throw from left.
Back toward the middle and off the glove of Nunez. That'll be a base hit for Revere. So he starts the first with an infield single. And here comes Odubel Herrera. Yeah, and I don't think anybody is totally sure about where this is going to end up. Herrera, I think everybody thinks, needs to be in the lineup based on his spring training. Now, he hasn't done it during a regular season, but he's hitting .368 this spring with 3 RBIs. Is he a better center fielder than left fielder? That's what Ryan Sandberg's trying to find out. He had a very difficult time yesterday in Fort Myers in center field on a ball that Mookie Betts hit over his head. Slaps that one to third. That could be 2. It's going to be tough to double these 2 guys up, but the Twins just did that. Escobar was playing in on the grass. A 5-4-3 double play, and there are 2 outs.
And third, number 26.
Well, this is an impressive play all the way around. Escobar makes a nice play on his backhand, and I mean, really gets a strong feed to second base, and it's a great turn. And I mean, that has to be a perfectly turned 5-4-3 double play, which it was.
Yeah, there couldn't have been any delay at all because Herrera has really shown some good speed so far this spring. Chase Utley playing second base for the second time this spring. 7 for 16 offensively, so the swing is fine. 1 ball and no strikes. He and Pelfrey have had a very entertaining sort of side story over the years. Let's just say Chase has a pretty good idea of how to get under somebody's skin. And he seems to have been able to get under Pelfrey's skin. That one is foul and a long way. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I like to see that right there out of Chase. He thinks so much, you know, stay in the middle of the plate and hit the ball line drives. Go ahead and cheat on that 2-0.
Is he cheating again there?
Yeah, that was a very nice changeup right there. $10 miles an hour difference with the fastball and changeup can make it a long day for a hitter.
Outside, he tried to go to the same spot. It's 3-2 now to Utley with Ryan Howard waiting on deck. Outside, ball 4, and Utley draws a walk. So the Phils have a 2-out base runner. And here comes Ryan Howard up.
It's amazing in the American League Baseball how often you see a 3-2 curveball or changeup. It just seems like in the American League they'd rather walk you than let you get a hit.
It's so interesting because I mean, from a distance, it seems like the American League is so reliant on power sometimes that you probably want to eliminate as many base runners as possible.
Or staying away from throwing a cookie 3 balls, 2 strikes for someone to hit and put up for gator bait in right field.
Here's Ryan Howard, who is 9 for 40 this spring. He's got a couple home runs. Oh, he's right on that one. He fouls it back. It's 0-1. By the way, that walk by Pelfrey, first walk of the spring.
Really?
In 9 2/3 innings of work. Inside corner, and it's 0-2.
It's a ball.
I think Ryan Howard's in agreement with you, Matt. Off the glove of Herman, and Utley will go to second. Runner in scoring position for the Phillies here in the bottom of the first. Be nice to get off to a good start. The Phillies have a 3-game losing streak going here.
And Belford just had to overthrow this one. It's his hardest fastball today at 94, but if you're going to miss up high with a no ball 2 strike.
Just let the catcher know next time.
Right. It's coming a little harder next time.
Outside, 2-2.
That's interesting. He throws a fastball first one, has a good swing at it. Throws a front door sinker, freezes Ryan. I'm thinking right now, 2-2, this is a great time to throw a front door sinker.
It looks like they're calling, well, they're changing it up right now. Didn't look like he wanted the first sign that was set down, first couple signs. Breaking ball. And Howard's down looking. First strikeout for Pelfrey. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We'll go to the second. Mike Pelfrey led a couple base runners, but picked up a double play, and the strikeout of Howard to wrap it up. Yep, the sun has popped out, so it's time to put a lid on. Even if you don't want to, you've got to put it on. We go to the top of the second. Okay, she found the one she wanted. No, she did not. Nope. Osvaldo Arcia will lead it off. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Arcia, 20 home runs last year, 57 runs batted in. A couple home runs this spring. 1 ball, 1 strike to him.
That's a nice number for home runs, 20. Of course, you want more, but it's hitting that 20 mark, playing in that size of that ballpark.
He's got some pop. Chops that one toward Utley, and Chase charges. Yeah, there's 1 out, 4 up, 4 down for David Buchanan. McDonald's opening night T-shirt for fans 15 and older will be given out on Wednesday, April 8th, when the Phillies take on the Boston Red Sox. It's a 7:05 first pitch. It's all part of a 3-game series against the Red Sox to begin the 2015 season. Order tickets by going to Phillies.com. By the way, yesterday was my first trip down to JetBlue Park, the new home of the Red Sox.
Where Boston plays.
Yeah, where Boston plays.
Did you like it?
I did. I thought it was a nice place. They literally have a replica of the Green Monster in left, but they have seats in the middle of the Monster instead of, they have them up top like in Fenway, but they've got more right in the middle. The only thing I couldn't figure out was what was a home run and what wasn't. The ball kept hitting into those seats and dropping in, and at one point one of the players stopped thinking it was a home run, but it wasn't, so they had to start again. But the dimensions are exactly the same as Fenway Park all the way around.
So about 170 to right field pole.
The pesky pole was pretty short. Inside, 1-2 to Rodriguez.
And that'd be your second favorite park, of course, behind Bright House Field.
I don't think it matches Bright House Field.
No.
I really don't. Out toward right field, Jeff Francoeur comes running in, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. I mean, this ballpark opened 11 years ago and is a pretty special place. And a lot of minor league places are taking sort of this pattern, which they've taken from others, but to have the berm out in the outfield. Right. You can walk all the way around without missing a pitch because the concourse is wide open. I think the convenience of this place is also sets it aside from other places. Chris Herman takes high. It's 1-0.
I like the fact that with Frenchies, the way that the seating is up there in left field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, basically, there's not a bad seat in the house, and that's one of the best ones out there. So a pop out toward Ashe at third, 6 up, 6 down for David Buchanan. There's Frenchie's Tiki Bar. $25 million is what Bright House Field cost when they were building it. It broke ground in 2002, opened in 2004. First manager, Mike Schmidt.
It's Mark.
Here at Bright House Field, the Phils and the Minnesota Twins. Carlos Ruiz will lead it off against right-hander Mike Pelfrey. Phillies have a base hit so far. Carlos 6 for 29 this spring. He's starting to pick it up a little bit offensively. What did he start? 0 for 17? 1 for 18?
Something like that. Doesn't matter how you start. Tom, come on.
Phillies are trying to figure out this 5-hole behind Ryan Howard, particularly with Dominic Brown out with the tendonitis of his Achilles. 1 ball and no strikes to Ruiz. Takes low, 2-0. They're trying to figure out right field while Dominic's on the shelf. They're trying to figure out left field. Mentioned that they pared down their roster. Chopper left side. Nunez charges. High throw. Safe at first. Rodriguez didn't apply the tag before Ruiz got his foot on the bag. So that'll be an E6. And the Phils have a base runner.
Well, this never happened. This is taking your time knowing that there's not a speedy guy going down the baseline.
I do believe if we had replay, Paul Molitor might ask for a review of that, and Carlos Ruiz would have been out.
Well, the good thing about it is there is no replay.
There is no replay today. So, Paul, you have to stay in the dugout. Kodiashi's the batter. 8 for 35 this spring. Outside corner, 0-1. Cody was one of the players who was who traveled to Fort Myers yesterday, played against the Red Sox. And for the second consecutive day, that one's hit high in the air to right center field. It's well hit. Going back on it is Robinson. It is gone. A 2-run home run for Ashe. And the Phillies take a 2-0 lead.
Well, Tom, I kid you not, before the pitch was thrown, I was saying this is a guy versus right-handers who could be your number 5 hitter. He's got that nice swing, nice easy swing, and he's got his finish has been unbelievable right now. His last 3 home runs he's hit have been high home runs, and he's been driving it very well.
Here's Jeff Francoeur. I was about to say he was one of the players who had to play against the Red Sox yesterday and face a knuckleballer for the second straight day. And his swings weren't all that great yesterday, but right there, he didn't show any flaws whatsoever. Probably happy that a guy that was throwing a little harder out there today instead of the knuckleballer, Stephen Wright. Francoeur hits it sharply to the right side. And Pelfrey's there to cover. 1 out. And here's Freddie Galvis.
Number 13, Freddie Galvis.
Well, for Ashe, that was his 3rd home run of the spring. In fact, all 3 home runs have been 2-run shots.
I still believe Cody Ashe's a 20 home run guy.
Galvis takes low and in, 1-0. I think that the more he gets comfortable,
yes,
and the more he has an understanding of Major League pitching, you could be right on with that. And how huge would that be if he could be a 20 home run guy?
Well, I believe he could be. He's a type of hitter. If you break down his swing, if you break down Chase's swing, their timing usually stays pretty good because they don't have a lot of movement. It's guys that have the big movement. That's one thing I want to see about Herrera. If he gets in a little slump, how he's going to get out of it. But the less movement you have, it's easier to stay out of a slump because there's really, if anything, you're going to be off a little bit with your timing, with your swing, not with your body movement.
Two balls, 1 strike to Galvis. And he lines one into center field, a base hit. Hit number 12 this spring for Freddie Galvis. Tonight at 5, former Eagle LaShawn McCoy has some interesting things to say about his replacements on the Birds, plus highlights and analysis from this ball game. A breakdown of Villanova's early exit from the Big Dance. Watch Philly Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business on Comcast Sportsnet. Plus, Matt, you're making a special appearance on Philly Sports Talk. Are you going to talk hockey tonight?
I'm on. Oh, yeah, I am. I forgot about that.
All right, let me write this down. Murph, can you write this down? Let's remind Matt that he's on Philly Sports Talk tonight.
I've marked it down, and I will remind him later.
Okay.
Thank you, Murph.
We'll send a text to him at some point in the 8th inning. Freddie Galvis is breaking off as Buchanan up there to try to bunt. This is the point in spring training where the pitchers are starting to hit.
Swing.
Starting to swing, or bunt in this case. Runner goes, then stops. Oh, how about Buchanan fixing to punch it the other way? Freddie Galvis on his way to third. He'll get there. Runners on first and third with one man down. Oh, that was executed perfectly by the Phillies.
It was. Call it the Butcher Boy. You know, the key is to get a good jump, of course, but to get the bat back early enough and don't overswing. Just try to put the ball in play, and a lot of good things happen.
And make sure you hustle up the line so the shallow playing right fielder doesn't get up and fire it to first at you. So the Phillies up 2-0, have first and third with one man down. Ben Revere reached on an infield hit his first time up.
Just want to thank Murph for giving me the text. Thanks, Murph, for the text.
Murph, too, to remind you about Philly Sports Talk.
I didn't want to forget to remind you, so I did it immediately.
1 ball, no strikes. Slaps it the other way. Diving stop by Escobar. They've got Galvis caught between third and home. And Escobar applies the tag. So 5-2-5 on the putout, a fielder's choice for Ben Revere.
Well, this is tough because this is a line drive hit down the left side, and you have to freeze on the line drive because you don't want to get doubled up, and then you're out in no man land. You know, now you got to stay in the rundown. Now the key is here is you want to try to stay in the rundown as long as you can to have Buchanan get to third base, but as you see the Minnesota Twins do it nice and one throw and done.
Well, and the theory there is stay out of the double play. Like, you want to go on contact if you're Galvis because you don't want them to spin it around the diamond for a double play. So now the inning's alive even though the runner's off third.
Right. But the key right there is he had to freeze because it was almost a line drive all the way to third.
Herrera takes strike one. It's 0-1. Herrera hit into a double play his first time up, trying to get a run home. Foot turned in, the lead foot turned in. And now no balls and 2 strikes.
It's an interesting setup the way he has his front foot. All it is just more of a push back foot. That's the foot he uses to drive back and get his momentum back. Doesn't matter where you start as long as you get in that position right when the pitch is coming in.
On the inside corner, and Herrera is called out on strikes. The Phillies leave a couple, but they also get a couple. A 2-run home run by Cody Ashe, his third of the spring. He was right on that pitch for Mike Pelfrey. So 2-0 Phils as we head to the third. Two nothing Phillies on top as we go to the top of the third inning. David Buchanan just finishing up his warm-up tosses, working with a 2-run lead thanks to the home run by Cody Ashe, his third of the spring. We welcome in Phillies coach Juan Samuel, who is down in the dugout. We may even hear from Sean Fakasny, Phillies athletic trainer, at some point if we're careful, because he's sitting right in front of Juan Samuel. Sammy, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, guys.
So the whole outfield setup right now for the Phils. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts going on.
It is, but we have a lot of athleticism out there. Those guys this year, the group that we have has been very good. Guys that could go get the ball and play good defense for us.
Hey, Sammy, it's Thursday. Ben Revere in left field the other day made a very strong throw to home. Is he still maintaining his throwing program, and what has he been doing to keep that arm strong?
It's the same. We have to keep it. We have to keep the same work that we've been doing with Benny, and I think he's going to benefit more from left field when he's throwing.
There's a line drive out toward left center field. Odubel Herrera will get to it. So the first hit of the day for Doug Bernier. We'll say we're showing the throw from Ben from the other day, where he was able to throw to the plate. He got a nice running start and let it fly.
Of course, it's a shorter distance from there. We all know, and the stairs, you know how tough it is to throw guys out from center field. But the throws are shorter, through the second base, through home plate is probably going to be better for him, especially if he continues to charge the ball. That's something we have to keep stressing with Benny.
What is the thought now, Sammy, that the coaches have about Ben in left field and Herrera in center field? Is this something they're just looking at for the next few days, or is it something that you can see happening as the season runs around?
I could see it happening. Having those two guys there with the kind of speed. Herrera seems to be more comfortable in center field, and Benny has played the corners before. I think when I started seeing Benny, he was playing right field for the Twins. So Benny has been in the corner before. He's played all three. So Herrera looks more comfortable in center field.
Now, is there one thing that Herrera has been working on this spring that where he needs to work on more than anything else? Is it balls left, right, over his head, or is it getting the read off the bat and coming in on balls?
He's getting good jumping balls. Last couple of days, he had some challenging plays. Line drive coming in and that ball off his head in center field yesterday, but he's been getting good jumps and balls. But we continue to give him some reps. I'd like to see him probably get to the spot quicker instead of drifting on balls at times. So it's a learning process for him, and we just got to stay on him.
Is he open to learning too, Sammy? It seems like he is. I mean, the Phillies have bounced him around from spot to spot. Is he open to learning?
Of course, it's been a pleasure working with him, and he have not said anything. He's happy when he see the progress, and he got a big smile on his face. So he's willing to work. He's an athletic guy. He got some speed, so he's welcoming.
Well, and it's got to help when you look over to his left, and you have Frenchie playing right field, who is a great teammate and a great outfielder. Does he give tips as well in the outfield work?
Of course. He's. I'm telling Frenchie, make sure you keep an eye on him. And I know Herrera, he's moving, and he feels like, well, I'm the newest guy here. Frenchie got more time than I do. I don't know if I want to move him, but told Herrera, listen, you're the captain there. It doesn't matter. Frenchie's have some time in, but Frenchie's welcome the idea of you moving him around too.
Well, Sammy, you also played second base for most of your career, and obviously transitioning to the outfield later on in your career. What do you think of the way the ball club is? How the ball club is right now? I mean, Chase looks like he's moving pretty well at second base. Freddie, defensively, has been very sound at shortstop.
Defensively, we've been very good. I mean, even Howard is moving a lot better in first base. So if we just continue this, everybody stay healthy. I think defensively and energy-wise, we're going to be fine on that regard.
Speaking of health, how's Dominic Brown's health?
I think they're taking him day to day. It's a little sensitive issue with Achilles tendon. We know what happened with Ryan Howard, so I don't think doctors are trying to rush it.
That's actually a good point. You know, with Ryan's Achilles injury, he was having some tendonitis or some soreness before it actually wound up rupturing.
Exactly. That's very sensitive, so they're going to try to take as much time as they can with it.
All right, Sammy, we appreciate it. Maybe we'll do this like a weekly segment during the season.
That will be fine with me, G. That'll be fine.
All right, thanks. Juan Samuel, our guest, down in the dugout. Phillies lead it 2-0 here in the top of the third. Twins have a runner at second base with Shane Robinson at the plate. Fly ball right field. Jeff Francoeur. He'll glide under it, and near the track makes the catch. Another good inning for David Buchanan. One hit allowed. He leaves one. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Ball with Matt Stairs and Greg Murphy. Big Irish is walking around the ballpark somewhere. I think he's in the production cavity right now. Ben Davis. Chase Utley will lead things off. He walked his first time up. No balls and one strike to Utley. First of two games between the Phillies and the Twins. The Phillies will head to Fort Myers to take on the Twins before the end of spring training. It's about a 2-hour, 15-minute drive from here in Clearwater.
Are they still playing in the same stadium as they've always had?
Yeah, they refurbished it.
They have.
That one's pulled. Diving stop by Rodriguez. Flips to Pelf, recovering. One out. Well, one away. Murph, we just saw Reynaldo Rodriguez make that diving stop. Now, he's not one of the top prospects for the Twins. He's sort of a veteran minor league player. But the Twins have themselves some pretty good prospects coming through.
They do, Tom. If you look around, certainly the Twins haven't been where they want to be in recent years. Just 70 wins a year ago. They came in last in the AL Central. But if Twins fans are patient, well, things might start to turn around. You look at these, all kinds of different rankings. These are from MLBpipeline.com. But you look at the top 37 players in minor league baseball. 6 of them are in the Twins organization, including Byron Buxton, the overall #1 prospect in all of baseball. He was the second-round pick, guys, you'll remember back in 2002. He's an outfielder that can do just about everything. He's got all kinds of tools, and he's a terrific player. A great bloodlines as well. His cousin was an NFL player, Dexter Carter. But they're really high on him. He got hurt last year, but you think about it, 6 of the top 37 prospects in minor league baseball in your organization. A couple of those guys pan out, which they certainly expect they will. And the Twins are going to be able to turn things around pretty quickly. So it's not where they want it to be right now, but certainly down the road it should be.
Yeah, Nick Gordon is the son of Flash Gordon, Tom Gordon, brother D, who plays for the Marlins now. Buxton was sent back, I think about 10 days or so ago by the Twins down in the minor league camp.
Is it Alex Meyer? M-E-Y-E-R?
Meyer, yeah.
I think it's Meyer, yeah.
Meyer, yeah.
6'9", right-hander.
Well, they have their power forward. 1-2 pitch. That one's hit in the air to left field. Moving back on it is Arcia. And, I believe he caught it, or it caught him. One way or another, there are 2 outs. Murphy could have turned around and gave him a little help with where that ball was.
I was going to try and help. It's a high sky out here. I don't know if you noticed during my hit, I was battling the sun a little bit. So we're all just doing the best we can down here in left field, all right?
Murph, I hate to tell you, but it's not a high sky today. There's clouds.
Oh, be quiet, Stairsy.
There are 2 outs now. Carlos Ruiz is coming up. We're doing the best we can out here in left field, he says.
From my perspective, it looks pretty high, man. All right? I don't know if you can reach it, but.
He just called you short, Matt.
Well, that's all right. I'll still be at his function tonight.
And Murph's got a big fundraiser tonight down here in Clearwater at the Brown Boxer. At the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike. Toward the Shore event, right, Murph? Tour de Shore fundraiser?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it is indeed for the Irish Pub Tour de Shore. And, it sounds like we're going to get a nice crowd down there on Clearwater Beach tonight. I'm hopeful we'll raise some money.
You've been going from person to person, inviting them?
One by one. I'm inviting everybody in the ballpark.
Well, you got enough flyers to do that, that's for sure.
Yes. Well, we've passed out a couple of those as well. People are excited to meet you guys, so that's what it's all about.
I didn't realize we had to go.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, we're invited?
It's mandatory.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Carlos Ruiz. And a liner foul off to the right and out of play. Well, speaking of prospects, here are the Phillies' top prospects. J.P. Crawford, according to MLB Pipeline, is number 22. And Aaron Nola, who's been firing back on the backfield the last couple weeks, is number 38. In fact, we will see Nola on Friday starting here at Bright House Field. I think a lot of folks are looking forward to that. I know we are.
Yes.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Ruiz. And a line drive toward left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Hicks will get to it. Ruiz takes the turnaround first. Will hold up there. It's a 2-out single. And Carlos with a 7th hit of the spring. Hatfield Phillies Frank's Dollar Dog Night will be Thursday, April 9th, when the Phillies take on the Boston Red Sox. The 6th, 8th, and 9th of the 3 games against the Sox. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. You can also check out Phillies.com for the upcoming promotional schedule. and the rest of the Dollar Dog Nights that are scheduled for 2015. Here's Cody Ashe, who homered his first time up.
It was a good at bat by Chooch. You got some pretty good sinkers inside. He battled, fouled off a couple of tough pitches, and then finally got a hanging curveball and put a very nice swing on it. So good at bat.
That one's off the end of the bat on one hop, spinning right out of the glove of Bernier, and he still throws Cody out. So he hit it hard, but the Phils leave a base runner. We have 3 in the books here at Bright House Field. Phillies lead the Twins 2-0. Clinic and luncheon for women at Citizens Bank Park. There are 2 of them here this year, and they are scheduled for June 4th or August 25th. I say here, meeting at Citizens Bank Park, not at Bright House Field. You can go to Phillies.com/baseball101 for information or to register. Take part in an interactive clinic taught by the Phillies coaches, like Juan Samuel, who we heard from today. Access behind the scenes locations, participate in a Q&A with a player, and much, much more. Well, what was a rainy morning has turned into a sunny afternoon here in Clearwater, Florida. We'll start the top of the 4th inning. Eduardo Escobar will lead it off. It'll be Escobar, Nunez, and Arcia. Well, he's throwing strikes to him. And man, is his pace good. I mean, look at that. He just gets it, and he is ready to go. That one actually just missed. Maybe a little high?
A little high. Tried the backdoor cutter right there.
It's never a strike, Matt.
Nope.
2-2 pitch. And over our heads and out toward the production cavity. And it remains 2-2.
I don't think pitchers would be a big fan of mine if I was an umpire. Because I would have the tightest little zone. Nice pitch.
Well, here's the thing, is Buchanan picks up his 2nd strikeout. If you were an umpire, you wouldn't have the perspective of being a major league player, which you were. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would just be an umpire. So you think you'd still have the same?
Well, I like offense. I thought you were going to say if I was an umpire, I'd have a hard time seeing over the catcher.
No, I am not like Murph. I'm not going to make fun of your height, man. Breaking ball inside. It's 1-0. Eduardo Nunez, the batter.
You have different umpires throughout the league. Some are pitchers, umpires. Some are hitters, umpires. I want to see runs.
There's a broken bat looper out towards center. That'll drop in front of Herrera. So 1-out single. And that'll bring Arcia to the plate.
Look, everyone has their opinions of baseball, how it is. I think a 1-0 or a 2-1 game is boring to watch. Now, Jamie would love it.
Right.
And I think Ben would love it because
Ben would like it too, yeah.
He would enjoy calling that, hopefully, the one run.
A crisply played 2-1 game you're not a fan of. A lot of actions and good defense.
I mean, and it depends. I mean, if it's on a Sunday, the Flyers are playing that night, okay, yeah, I don't mind.
All about perspective, boys and girls. No balls and 1 strike to Arcia. Ray Tipton, our director, just popped into my ear, and he brought up a good point. The Carpenter Holiday game in the postseason, although the Phillies lost, I mean, that was one of the. There was not more. You couldn't replicate tension the way that game was. I mean, that was tense. That one's hit well out towards center field. Herrera got a good jump, though. A sinking line drive. He makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. Twins players are joking around with Nunez about diving back. All right, Matt, so this is a pretty good jump right now by Herrera.
Well, it is, and he recognized it was going to be over the right shoulder, and he didn't take that little step in. He turned and he went after it. He ran to where he thought the ball was in the land and made a nice, easy play. I mean, it looks easy when you're watching on TV, but to be out there, one, you got to put up the elements behind home plate, but just the fact that he's playing a new position and reading it nicely, a good sign.
Here's Rodriguez up for the second time. He's 0 for 1. Takes up and in 1-0. You agree with what Sammy said, though, about getting to the spot? Like, that's the key for him, is to try to get to the spot?
It is, and especially if you're playing in some elements where it's windy. And if you start coasting, next thing you know, you're never going to get to the ball. So if you get to the point, the highest point, when the ball gets to the highest point in the sky and starts coming down, you should know where that ball is going to land. And that's the key, is to get to that point as quick as possible.
Yeah, yesterday against the Red Sox, the ball was really hit well by Mookie Betts, and it's pretty deep out in center field at Jet Blue Park. But he was he could not figure out where he was.
Right.
He really couldn't. Goes. Pitch is chopped foul. It's 2-1. Reynaldo Rodriguez had 22 home runs last year, 70 RBIs. He's 28 years old. This is only his 3rd at bat of the spring. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
It's a good changeup right there. Late movement right there. Just last second, just dipped out of the zone at 82-mile-an-hour changeup.
Breaking ball, chopped towards short. Easy hop for Freddie Galvis. And another comfortable inning for David Buchanan, 6-4 on the putout. So he's kind of nurturing this 2-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th. with our buddy Murph on the move. And here's another look.
Well, guys, if you've been down to Clearwater Beach, you know that the waves aren't always crashing out there on the Gulf. But that doesn't matter because they've thought of everything. Inside this 55,000 square foot store called Surf Style lives the Flow Rider, where you can get your indoor surf on. Take a look at Mario as he challenges the waves and does what he wants to do. They really think of everything. It's the only place to go a few hundred feet from Clearwater Beach.
I have to admit, I didn't even know that was here in Clearwater.
I went there, and not to surf. I went there the other day to watch some people surf, and I saw one guy, and he bit it 20 straight times. He started getting up.
I had no idea that was even here.
It's pretty sweet. It's nice.
Is it crowded?
No. The day I was there was 2 people in there doing it.
I think the best part, Murph, would have been if you had put your trunks on and you would have gotten out and done a little surfing yourself there, big boy.
Well, I was surprised to see that our producer, Jeff Halleckman, didn't use the footage of myself out there on the board. I spent a solid hour out there.
It died on the editing room floor?
Apparently. I mean, you know, but Mario was good, too, so that was fine. But it's a cool place, and it's inside this enormous surf shop, Surf Style, and people come in there off the beach and want to do some surfing. Not a bad way to spend a couple hours of your afternoon, for sure.
I think it's outstanding. I also thought it was pretty good, Murph, how you were talking and moving out of the way of the water splashing up at you.
We all have our gifts, Tom. I can walk and dive out of the way with the best of them.
It was as if you were at SeaWorld or something, and Shamu was jumping into the pool and splashing you.
I think Mario was after me. Yeah. Yeah, we made him do about 6 takes. So.
Oh, really? Well, he was there anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty neat. I didn't even realize they had that here in Clearwater. Murph, you have been a great asset for the people of Clearwater and St. Petersburg, this area.
It was a lot of fun. I think we have a couple more for throughout the next week and a half. But, and I'm sure there are plenty other spots that we can take a look at next year as well.
Here's Freddie Galvis, who singled his first time up. He's 1 for 1. Shot towards short, and that ate up Nunez. It should be another base hit for Galvis. Phillies have a base runner with 1 out here in the 4th inning. You score another base hit, Matt?
Yes, sir. Well, we've seen Freddie Galvis from last year to this year really working on his swing and staying on top of the ball and hitting line drives and staying out of the air. And so far, it's been going well.
He has 2 hits today, give him 13 on the spring. His average getting close to 300. Buchanan lays down a bunt toward third. They'll get the runner over. So the sacrifice is successful, and it gives Ben Revere a chance to bring home Freddie Galvis. 5-4 on the putout at first. All right, so for Buchanan, he's got 4 scoreless. He's got a base hit. And now a sacrifice bunt.
Pretty much 6 for 6 right now.
Yeah, really not a bad day at all.
It's a very good day.
Revere is 1 for 2. Reached on an infield single his first time up. Fielder's choice his last time. Herman out to the mound. A long conversation with Mike Pelfrey with a runner at second base and 2 men down. Phillies have 6 hits now, 1 extra base hit, the home run by Cody Ashe. On the outside corner, 0-1.
Telfer's throwing the ball well. It's only given up 1 earned run. Velocity is good. Off speed's good.
Well, you combine that with his other outings. Today was the first day he issued a walk. I always think that's a big thing with him, his command. And it was a big thing when he was with the Mets. You get him rattled, and you got him. Chopper right side, and picked up by the second baseman Bernier, and Pelfrey's there to cover. So 4-1 on the putout. Phillies leave one in scoring position. Phillies so far have left 5. Here it's Bright House Field. You can use the berm to try to get yourself moving. Surf style, you just use what Mario uses. Use a board, hovercraft, whatever you want to call it. Hitting Phillies on a 2-run home run by Cody Ashley lead the Twins. Twins will send Chris Herman, Doug Bernier, and Aaron Hicks to the plate against right-hander David Buchanan. Buchanan 4 innings so far. He's allowed 2 hits, and he delivers a strike, and it's 0-1. This is a different path for Buchanan. Last time out he went 4 innings, and now he begins the 5th. Low it in, 1 ball, 1 strike. He got Herman to pop out into foul territory his first time up. Oof. Everybody in the infield moving around, thinking they're going to throw that ball around the diamond. Excellent spot, though. High fly ball, shallow right center field. Francoeur, Herrera, and it's Francoeur. And 1 out. Tonight at 6:30 and 11, gear up for the Phillies season with the bullpen. Ben Davis catches for Kenny Giles' 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Plus, Jake Diekman talks about the battle with his health. And Jim Salisbury, this is never good, takes on Jonathan Papelbon. Watch Phillies Focus Monday night only on Comcast Sportsnet. Here's Doug Bernier. He signaled the first time up, and he takes strike 1. Inside. A lot of things to look forward to in that show, including Murph's second interview with Jonathan Papelbon. in reference to Jim Salisbury's challenge.
Aaron Hicks.
And 2 outs for Aaron Hicks. Hicks reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. Breaking ball, and it's 1-0. Hicks has spent part of the last 2 years in the big leagues. He's hit .201 combined between the 2 seasons. I think it was 2 springs ago where we thought he had made the Twins out of spring training with his game against the Phillies. He hit 2 home runs here at Bright House Field. I should say 3 home runs. I shortchanged the man. 3 home runs. It's at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, he has not been able to translate that into a whole lot of success in the big leagues.
Nice changeup.
Really good pitch.
Look at this. You get 3-1 fastball. Pull the string. 3-2.
Now if you're Hicks, you're thinking, well, I don't know what I'm going to get here. Looks like he's going to get another changeup. Got him. Foul tip hung on to by Ruiz. Boy, 5 exceptional innings by David Buchanan. 3 strikeouts. He allows 2 hits. Whether his day is done remains to be seen. If it is, it's another step closer. Phillies lead at 2-0 thanks to a 2-run home run back in the second by Cody Ashe. And also thanks to the pitching of David Buchanan. All right, Matt, we've seen him pitch very well this spring, but I think he's topped it all with his effort today.
Well, he really has. He came back last outing with a lot of strikeouts, and today he got a lot of contact swings early, and that's the reason why he only had like 65 pitches. But the sinker was moving really well. Late movement, his changeup, and oh, by the way, the old Butcher boy's back and hit as well. So he had a very nice day, and it's nice to see him build off an outing last time. Now let's build off this for the next outing.
Yeah, he is done because the Phillies do have bullpen action behind him. Philippe Almont is starting to throw. So there he is chatting with Ryan Sandberg. 64 pitches total. So we begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Odubel Herrera lays down a bunt. They're not going to get him. Not going to get him. Going to be a base hit.
The game's not fair when guys lay a bunt down and you know you're just going to beat it out and you just coast to the bag. You know, this is the late surprise bunt. No chance, and he just decides, well, it's easy. Look at that. He's got a great running start. He just kind of coasts right there. Me, I'm kicking the helmet off, I'm punching the helmet off. My arms are going.
Please let him drop it. Please let him drop it.
And then you look up the scoreboard and say, hopefully he didn't drop and make an error.
Well, now Chase Utley, who's 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. By the way, it's not Almont. It's Tyler Knigge who is warming up in the bullpen. There he is. One of the minor leaguers that were brought up for today's ball game. Here we go. They've done this before where Chase has waited and waited, and he had every right to ask for time. Another throw over, and Herrera is back without a tag. Runner goes, then stops, pitches a strike. It's 0-1.
This is the area where Pelfrey has worked on extremely hard. He used to get guys on first base, and he was a wreck. He didn't know how to hold people on. He would hold. The game would slow right down. Now he's very quick to home plate.
Yeah, there was that one year where he had one balk after another. He just couldn't get it out of his head. Outside again, 2-1.
You think a little run and hit right here?
He does look like he wants to run off first.
2-1. Scoring this double.
That was Pelfrey's way of just trying to keep Herrera close, and Chase wasn't going to buy into it. There he goes, and the pitch is hit out towards center field. On the run is Hicks. He got a turn around it, and he makes the catch. And one away. And that'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate. Well, Pelfrey has one out here in the 5th inning. We mentioned that Pelfrey is battling for one of the roster spots. Trevor May, the former Phillies prospect, is in the mix for that as well. He was in the Ben Revere trade. Phil Hughes, of course, 16 wins last year. Urban Santana's throwing today at the minor league complex in Fort Myers. Tommy Malone over from the A's. And then Ricky Nolasco, kind of a name from the past. Phillies used to face him all the time with the Marlins. Howard's 0 for 2, and he fouls the first pitch away. He was late on an inside fastball. It's 0-1. Remember when the Phillies had Trevor May? He won the Giles Award the one season. We had him up in the booth. Boy, he had a chance to be very good. He still does. Well, there's certainly Herrera's certainly in their heads right now. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
What do you think? Off-speed pitch, good time to steal?
1 ball, 1 strike.
Just throwing it up there.
He was starting to break, and he just gets back.
That's where he's got to learn not to cheat so much. He got picked off last game here.
Yeah, he's got picked off a couple times this spring. I guess that's just being overly aggressive. Because there, he was close to getting picked off again. Howard slaps it foul. It's 1-2. Well, now you figure he's going to go. Here he is Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, that was against R.A. Dickey. It was actually back-to-back plays where he got caught leaning the first time he got back, and R.A. Dickey kind of noticed that he started to his right a little bit, and then he came over the second time and threw a strike. So
how'd that knuckleball look the other day?
pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. It moved some. It didn't move as much as I've seen in the past.
I thought the guy yesterday threw for the Red Sox threw his knuckleball very well.
Did he throw it harder or softer?
Threw it harder, yeah. So working with Wakefield.
Oh, really?
Is this all from the bench that this stuff's coming from? Because Pelfrey just glanced over to the dugout.
Yeah, this is.
Juan Samuel keeping an eye on him, making sure Herrera knows what's going on. He goes and then stops. It's 2-2. He's not getting a good jump right now.
Pelfrey was in a pretty good rhythm. Then all of a sudden you get that fast guy on, and it kind of just takes him out of his rhythm.
Totally different pace. There he goes. Pitches up and in, and it'll be a stolen base for Herrera. So he's now in scoring position for Ryan Howard.
He didn't have the greatest jump, but his speed picked up pretty good right there, and just an easy bag because he dropped the ball at home plate. I think that's the more experience he gets, the more video he'll see if he goes north with the team.
And there's ball 4, so Howard draws a walk. Pelfrey not too pleased about that. And here comes Carlos Ruiz with runners on first and second. Darren Ruff is going to come on to pinch run for Ryan Howard, so Howard's aptitude is complete. Darren's always, last few years, has been a storyline here in the spring. Now with the emergence of Herrera playing center field and Revere playing left, everybody's wondering where does that leave Darren Ruff. Well, he still has versatility because he can play left and play right and play first base. He'll get some at bats here today.
What also he brings is that needed right-handed hitter with power.
They do need that. Carlos takes low, 1-0.
Has Darren played right before?
Yes. Whether he can or not, I think he's got a strong enough arm.
Well, he's had no problems in left field thus far, so he should be able to play right field since it's an easier position.
Breaking ball, 1 ball and 1 strike to Ruiz. I know you mentioned the other day that you think left field is the hardest position just because of the way the ball tails.
Well, when you're playing right field and you get a line drive by a left-handed hitter, it stays true. It comes at you, because a left-handed hitter, when they hit the ball to right field, it's a pull. Usually when you hit the ball to left field, it's a push with that that bottom hand, and everything slices. Right-handers hit the ball to left field, has the little hook. Well, when the right-hander hits the ball to right field, it's right-hand dominant with the swing, so that's why it gives you a better read off the bat, and it gives you a truer flight towards right.
Dominic Brown, Ben Revere chatting in the dugout. Inside, now 2-1. Hey, by the way, Pelfrey is all of a sudden all over the place, and he is really deliberate with what he's doing out on the mound. Cody Ashley waits on deck.
Well, if that's the case, stop worrying about Herrera so much. Move your first baseman in closer to the runner with Ruff at first, Rodriguez. Not worry about trying to throw the guy at third base. Now make a quality pitch and throw him out at second if he goes. Make sense, Tom?
It does make sense. The most important thing to me watching it is don't worry about the guy at second base.
Right. Make a quality pitch.
Yeah. He's really the guy at the plate's the one that's most important. Yeah. 1 out, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And then Pelfrey turns back towards second. Phillies have been, at least this spring, running more in this spot. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 man down. Runners go. Pitch is chopped towards short. Ruiz will be thrown out. Herrera thought,
yes,
you can see that happen. Herrera thought about going right home. So the inning is still alive. Runners on second and third. There are 2 outs. And Paul Molitor is coming out, and I believe he's going to make a double switch. Ladies and gentlemen, spring training baseball, and we've got a double switch by Paul Molitor. He's going to bring in Boyer from the bullpen. And then he's going to change one of his position players. So we've got a pitching change and an adjustment to one of the infielders. Jose Martinez will come on as well. TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. Well, the outfield is a little different than it was a few moments ago. In fact, the gloves are a little different, too. Actually, the gloves are the same. The players are different. Look at this. This is Hicks throwing his glove to somebody, and I think he was throwing it to Escobar and then getting Escobar's glove. But before that, they were throwing gloves left and right. So there is Escobar. He'll move from third base over to left field. Moving from left field to right field is Arcia. And Shane Robinson moves from right field to center field. The new third baseman is Jose Martinez. And the new pitcher is right-hander Blaine Boyer. So Martinez will bat 9th. And Boyer will bat 8th. That's Hicks' spot in the order. So the veteran Blaine Boyer on the mound for the Twins, taking over from Mike Pelfrey. Phillies have runners on second and third with 2 men down. First pitch is low and in, 1 ball and no strikes. The whole glove toss thing was actually kind of funny, wasn't it?
Well, nobody knew who to come off the field.
Yeah, it was Martinez who actually told everybody where they were supposed to go. He was yelling it out to them. Boyer, the former Atlanta Brave pitcher. In fact, he made his debut back in 2005 with the Braves. And this spring, 2.45 ERA. He also pitched last year in San Diego's organization. Made it to the big leagues for 32 games as a reliever. He's played in Japan, Hanshin Tigers. That one's hit towards second, caught out of the air by Vernier. Phillies are retired here in the 5th inning. Phillies have 2 runs today and the home run by Ashe, and they have threatened in every inning to get some more. Well, that catch is all part of a great day for David Buchanan. Buchanan puts 5 innings today, and he leaves with a 2-0 lead. Phillies have some changes. Cesar Hernandez takes over at second base for Chase Utley, so Utley's day is done. Coy Hill is behind the plate for the Phils. He'll take over for Carlos Ruiz, and Darren Ruff, who came on a pinch run for Ryan Howard, is now over at first base. Now, the new pitcher is right-hander Tyler Carnegie. Should say Tyler Carnegie. First pitch is over for a strike against Martinez. Carnegie is a 26-year-old. Last year pitched in AA and in AAA. Those are his overall numbers. Former 12th round selection by the Phillies. That one is shot to the opposite way, a base hit. So Martinez is aboard. And Shane Robinson will bat for the Twins. Robinson is 0 for 2. 0. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's like a heavy baseball he's throwing.
I was thinking the same thing. That was at 94.
94. The pitch before that, the base hit by Martinez must have been a sinker or a changeup. I mean, up in the zone. That's.
Boy, Martinez did not hit it all that well.
No.
Robinson, a tough guy to double up. We mentioned the Twins got him from the Cardinals organization. One ball, one strike. Chopper over to third, and that's going to be a base hit to left field. The ball has some eyes in this inning for the Twins. And that'll bring Escobar to the plate, who is 0 for 2.
I got to believe that's what can be frustrating for a sinker ball pitcher. He's got late movement, very good movement on the sinker. Makes 2 quality pitches, and they both find holes in the infield.
Yeah, and there's not much you can do about it. We used to talk about that early on with Kyle Kendrick's outings, because he was a quote-unquote sinker ball pitcher. I didn't think he was as much a sinker ball pitcher in his latter time with the Phillies.
No. His fastball ran. That's a sink right there. At 93.
No balls and 1 strike.
Now, it's not Kevin Brown's sink. So I don't think that anyone will ever throw that again.
That was all over the strike zone. That was his up, down, zip. Still think they overpaid for him, $105 million.
I still think he cheated.
Well, there's that also.
There's no way the ball moved that much. And I agree with you.
0-1 pitch coming to Escobar. Chopper over to first. That's a foul ball. Foul ball or not, Rupp did a nice job. He kept his foot on the bag as he fielded that and then fired to second base. That would have been close to a double play. 0-2. Carnegie last year in the minors, as you take a look at this play.
Some quick feet, tag the bag at the same time, turn and throw. Nice play that didn't count.
Yep. Last year in the minors, Carnegie was 3-0 with Double-A with a 2.06 ERA. Triple-A, he had a 4.61 earned run average. Kind of surprised him with a back foot breaking ball. One ball, 2 strikes.
Nice.
95 on that sinker.
Boy gives that nice low target. It's 95 with run.
He wasn't even close to hitting that ball either. That was a pretty telling highlight right there, that replay. So 1 away, and here comes Eduardo Nunez. Breaking ball, 0-1.
You know, I know we don't talk about updates in spring training and other games going on.
Yeah, what do you got, Matt?
Matt Latos for the Miami Marlins gave up 8 runs in the second inning.
Did he really? Got all his work in, though.
8 runs.
It's a lot of runs. Ground ball to shortstop. Galvis has it, throws to second for one, and that's all they'll get. That was a good play. And there are 2 outs, runners on first and third.
I think I might be onto something there. I can give the updates every day.
We already have Murph on the move. We have to come up with some kind of catchy phrase for it, though.
I just find that unbelievable.
That's a lot of runs. I mean, that's a lot to leave him out there. What was it, a couple home runs?
One home run. 9 hits. I'm sorry, 8 hits, 9 runs in 3 innings.
I guess they felt like he had to get to a certain pitch count.
So the Mets felt very hitterish.
Here's Arcia. Arcia is 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's lined out. Breaking ball 0-1. So he started the last 2 hitters off with breaking pitches.
Which is kind of interesting to see because the sinker ball is the easiest pitch to get on the ground, and an off-speed pitch like a curveball is the easiest ball to elevate.
Upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies have a handful of guys that they're scheduled to use here this afternoon. Kadigi was just an added pitcher to the roster, but Justin DeFreitas is supposed to throw. So is Jake Diekman and Kenny Giles. That one's off the foot of Arcia. That's going to be painful.
Ooh, right off the guard.
There's DeFreitas.
Nice pitch.
I think it was Arcia that you could hear say, "Aye." 2 balls and 2 strikes. We could pick up vendors yelling every which way. We can hear Arcia. On the inside corner, 95 by Kadigi, and the side is retired. 2 strikeouts. He topped off at 95 miles an hour. Pretty good look at another Phillies prospect out of the bullpen. Watch the reaction not only by Kadigi but also by Coy Hill. When you spend it at a Phillies game with your group of 25 or more. Take advantage of special group opportunities, including discounts, theme nights, party areas, and much more. No matter what size group, there are always benefits and special options. For more information, check out Phillies.com/group tickets. We start the bottom of the sixth. Jeff Francoeur will lead it off against Blaine Boyer. First pitch is inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Francoeur and Boyer were part of the Braves organization together. Jeff is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. He's been getting some more PT, more playing time since Dominic Brown went out with the tendonitis in his Achilles. You heard Juan Samuel say before they're going to take it slow with Dominic, and it seems like they are. They're not totally sure of when he'll be able to come back and play. Pop up, right side. And Bernier is there to make the catch, 1 out. It's always a good day in Florida to get a chance to have an adult beverage or two. And what? That's a waste right there. It's a hot dog. The Fanatic was out shooting some Hatfield Phillies Franks earlier, and one of them never made it to its rightful owner. And there's a youngster that's over by the fence right now. He was hanging over, pointing at it a moment ago. Somebody's got to go get that kid that hot dog.
I thought you were going to do your famous Budweiser promotion. Here's the baseball. Did I say it backwards? Here's the Budweiser, here's the baseball.
You can do it
either way. It doesn't matter, right?
It all goes the same.
As long as you have a Budweiser at a ball game, doesn't matter.
Right. Poor hot dog's not bothering anybody. 1-0 pitch. Up and away, 2-0. I don't know if you ever caught one of those that they shoot out now. They have them wrapped up so tight. It's like there's some duct tape or something wrapped around it. Off the hands, Looper out to center. And Robinson will take care of Freddie Galvis for the second out here in the bottom of the sixth.
I never caught them before, but I shot them.
Well, so did you see how it's different, I think, than last year because they used to break apart and everything.
Right.
Look how packed up that thing is.
You can knock somebody out.
You would knock somebody out. Depending on what kind of hot dog you have, though, the hot dog can knock somebody out. Here's Nelson pinch hitting for Carnegie, so DeFreitas will come on. First pitch is low, 1 ball and no strikes. Two and one. Well, it's a pretty good bite on it, too.
It's just a natural little cutter.
Shallow center field. Robinson comes charging in. Sunglasses on, puts it away, and the Phillies go down in order for the first time today. We've completed 6. We're rolling along to the 7th inning here at Bright House Field. Cody Ashley's 2-run home run is the difference right now. That came back in the second. David Buchanan, 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts for the Phils today. Twins are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. The Phillies pitching has been solid today. It was Buchanan, then Carnegie, who pitched a scoreless 6th inning. Andres Blanco will take over at shortstop for Freddie Galvis. Over in right field is Jordan Danks. So Jeff Francoeur's afternoon is done. And the new pitcher is Justin DeFreitas. Justin, in 5 games so far, has an earned run average of 7.94. He's given up a lot of hits. And he will come on to face Reynaldo Rodriguez to start it off. DeFreitas' last outing, he went 1. He allowed 4 hits and 3 runs. So his last 2 outings, 2 2/3, 8 hits, and 5 earned runs for the Phils reliever. 1 ball and no strikes to Rodriguez, who's 0 for 2. He's fly to right. He's also hit into a fielder's choice. This one's whacked off the foot. I don't think that even hit that pad.
No, it
hit the foot, didn't it?
Big toe.
Ow. Right on the old Uncle Holka. Right on the toe.
On what?
From Stripes. The big toe. You never saw that movie?
Yeah, but I don't remember that one.
1 ball and 1 strike. Breaking ball outside. It's 2-1. Now, we just want to remind you that you're on Phillies Sports Talk today after the game.
Thank you.
Look out, Murph. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think Murph needs a hat down there.
He is getting a lot of sun.
I need a sombrero or something. A large hat.
A sombrero. Not a bad spot. It's 3-2. This is usually the time of spring where we always hear the dead arm period for a lot of pitchers. You know, just because they're throwing more innings than they have, obviously, since last year. So they're still building up arm strength. And for some guys, you know, there's that dead arm period. John Lester, we heard that from him out of Cubs camp. There's a broken bat. Murph, what about Justin after his last outing? What did he say about the runs and hits that he gave up?
Yeah, I was just talking to him about that before he went out into the bullpen to warm up for this outing. I said, you know, how did you feel after last game? He said, you know what, he knew right away that he didn't have a whole lot in that game for whatever reason. You know, part of it probably what you're just talking about now, Tom. You know, it's that time of the year in spring. He said, you know, I was hoping to see that my velocity would start creeping up at this time, and it hasn't happened yet. That last pitch was 91, I think I caught on the gun. But he also said, you know, 2 outings before that, he didn't feel all that great. He was able to get outs. Then the outing right after that, he allowed some runs, but felt terrific in that outing. So he said, you know, he's working on some things, as are most of the pitchers doing down here. And, you know, although nothing is guaranteed, certainly as a roster spot for Justin DeFreitas, which, you know, he said to me. But he also feels pretty comfortable that he can, you know, kind of work on some different things that that maybe he wouldn't be able to do if he was really battling for a job in spring training. So, you know, that's what these guys are up to. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts today, how he throws today. He was anxious to get back out there for sure.
Yeah, well, this will be the 8th pitch that he's going to throw right now to Rodriguez. As you see, Salcedo warming up in the pen for the Twins. He got him. Coy Hill hangs on, so 1 away. Murph does get some of his best information before the pitchers actually go into the bullpen down the left field line.
Yeah, he does. And even though this is at 90 miles an hour, it's a good location in the zone. And one thing I've noticed with DeFreitas this spring so far is that his slider is bigger than usual. I don't know if he's getting around it a little bit more, and that's giving a little bit of bigger hump to the off-speed pitch.
Good point.
He's also working on his changeup more, which he usually doesn't throw.
Here's Chris Herman with 1 out. Herman takes a strike. It's 0-1. Murph, it is true. You do sometimes get some of your best information before a pitcher goes to the bullpen to warm up.
Yeah, they're very chatty when they're getting set to go out into that bullpen. And I also have them kind of trapped down here because they can't leave, so I just pepper them with questions.
That one's pulled toward first. Darren Ruff knocks it down. And there are 2 outs. Darren was hit by a pitch in yesterday's game when he was hitting. He's going to have bruises all over.
The question is, though, Murph, have you been telling these guys about your function tonight? Having those guys stop by?
I've been handing everyone flyers as they walk by. I think we're going to have a big contingent of Minnesota Twins coming to the event tonight.
Hey,
so that should be a lot of fun.
Their money is just as good as anyone else's.
Exactly right. Yes, that's what it's about.
Well, 2 outs, and here is Doug Bernier.
And Matt, just a reminder, you're on PST tonight, so don't forget about that.
Thank you.
It'd be great after all these reminders if he just walked out of the booth and didn't do it.
I just found it confirmed that I have Bill Lee, who's going to be my guest speaker at my golf tournament this year.
All right.
Found that out a couple days ago. That should be interesting.
I was going to say, is he going to tell you what he's going to talk about first?
No. I just want to hear the story with him and Tug McGraw going and jumping over the Great Wall of China and getting arrested. Did you ever hear that story?
I never heard that story. Ground ball back toward the middle, and Hernandez has got it. And he tried to flip to Blanco to make the throw. It'll be an infield hit for Bernier, and now Matt can tell his story about Bill Lee and Tug McGraw getting arrested for going over the wall in China.
Well, I can't tell you the story because I wasn't there.
Oh.
I said I'm waiting to hear that story, they said. Should be interesting, though.
Make a mental note to ask you about it next year. Well, here's Blaine Boyer. This must be that they just want him to throw another inning because he's up here with 2 away. He's not going to get many opportunities to bat during the regular season as an American League team. Snip it in the bucket, taking a hack. It's 0-1.
It's a pretty good hack, too, by the way.
No balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball back toward the middle. Blanco is there. He'll take it to first. And the side is retired. So a nice bounce back for Justin DeFreitas. He allows an infield hit. Time to stretch here at Bright House Field. The Phils on top 2-0.
Hello, I'm Amy Fiddle in our Comcast Sportsnet studios. Coming up at 5 o'clock on Philly Sports Talk, we get the very latest on the Eagles from Jeff Mosher. He is at the NFL owners' meetings in Arizona. And we look back on Villanova's early exit from the big dance. All that and more on Philly Sports Talk at 5 o'clock. For now, though, we send it back to baseball with the Phillies and Tom McCarthy.
All right, Amy, thank you. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Phillies lead at 2-0 thanks to the home run by Cody Ashley, and we'll go back to the top of the order. It'll be Ben Revere, Herrera, the first two batters. New right fielder is Eric Ferris. He'll take over for the Twins. Boyer delivers a strike. It's 0-1. Revere is 1 for 3. Grounded out to second. He also reached on a fielder's choice, and he had an infield hit. His first time up off the glove of the shortstop, Nunez. Down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jake Diekman is in the bullpen. And that'll be Rodriguez to take it to the bag, and there's 1 out. Well, I guess one thing is for sure that the Phillies relievers today, Carnegie, DeFreitas, Diekman, and Giles are going to get into the mode of trying to secure a small lead since the Phillies are up just 2-0.
And this is usually how you'd see it during the season. 7th inning DeFreitas,
right.
8th inning Diekman, and then top one 9th. But today we're going to see Giles probably.
Herrera's 1 for 3. He reached on a bunt single his last time up. Struck out, grounded it to a double play. The outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Quick Carapazza took a little extra time to make that call, but it looked like a pretty good pitch. Well, what you said before, Matt, in our open, it is true. He is taking more pitches. He's not up there. I wonder if it's because he's having success now and he's settling in. He's not as jumpy as, let's say, he was early on in spring when he was trying to make a point.
Yeah, and I think it was, what, versus University of Tampa where he was swinging early in the count?
Yeah. That one is slapped foul off to the left out of play.
First to bat today, he had a fastball, hit it well to third base, but he's been doing well. He's been seeing more pitches. He's been getting on base, which is the most important thing, and I like his approach so far. It'll be interesting to see how he handles the off-speed pitch.
Nice catch by that gentleman, that youngster that brought a fan or brought a glove to the ball game.
This will be another area where I'd like to see how he's going to react towards fastballs inside. Pelfrey threw a fastball inside and struck him out looking, because he is kind of a violent hitter. The way he approaches and the way he goes after the ball, he opens up quite a ways, but all of a sudden he'll cut himself off for that inside fastball.
Bit outside, 3-2. Yeah, we saw a couple swings. In fact, we showed some of them before where he was able to get to some of those inside pitches and hit it to left field. Can he do that on a consistent basis? Swing and a miss. Got him with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, so 2 down. And here comes Cesar Hernandez. Turkey Hill Kids opening day is Sunday, April 12th. It's at 1:35 when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. All fans 14 and under will receive the Phillies Bat Pack. It's all part of a 3-game series against the Nats, April 10th, 11th, and 12th. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Well, now Cesar Hernandez, who's hitting under 100. I'm not sure what the Phillies are going to do with Cesar Hernandez. I think a lot of people expected he would be their utility guy, or one of them, going north. But he's hitting under 100. I mean, he's got to do a little bit better than this, Matt, in order to get a trip to Philadelphia.
You would like to see it, especially if you're going to have a chance to fill in from some different positions. You need to get a little bit of offense out of him. People ask, are spring training stats overrated? Do people pay attention to them? I think it's just the type of bat that people have, the hitters have.
Yeah, numbers are one thing, but there are certain things that
Right.
the coaches see that, let's say, I don't see, or things you see that most fans don't see.
Well, what I'd like to see is one, how they're working the count. 2, how the ball comes off their bat. You could go 0-4 and hit absolute 4 missiles, and be and not have an average, or you could go 3-for-4 and hit 3 bleeders. And now you're hitting 750. So to me, it's really how the ball's coming off the bat. Your batting practice shows a lot, and I know it's batting practice, but I want to see solid contact almost every at bat. It's not going to happen, but
1 ball, 2 strikes. That one's hit solidly out toward right center, and a running grab by Ferris. And the Phillies, for the 2nd straight inning, go down in order. So 8 in a row retired by the Twins pitching. However, the Phillies are still enjoying a 2-0 lead as we go to the 8th. From back in the 2nd inning as we go to the top of the 8th. So they lead it 2-0. Changes for the Phils defensively. Jordan Danks moves from right field over to left field, and Brian Bogusevic comes in to play right field. And the new center fielder is Darren Mastriani. And the new pitcher is left-hander Jake Diekman. Numbers this spring for Diekman: 4.50 ERA. He is registering a strikeout per inning. He's walked just 1. He's run some deep counts. But he will face Martinez to start things off for the Twins. And then the top of the order. Arm strength is not a question mark for Diekman. His velocity has been good. It's been in the upper 90s for most of this spring. So he'll be followed today by Kenny Giles. Giles is scheduled to pitch the 9th inning for the Phils. Meanwhile, Salcedo is warming up again in the pen for the Twins. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who's down on the field with Chase Utley. Greg?
I am indeed. His day is done. Chase nice enough to stop down here in the left field corner. First of all, back out on the field, back playing second base. So let me ask you about that first. How you feeling out there? It was delayed a little bit. You happy to be back out there in the field?
Definitely happy to be back out there. It's a lot better than DHing for sure. But yeah, I played 5 innings today. It was a good progression from last time, and we're going to continue to do that, and so far so good.
Is the bottom line for you, you're at the point where you kind of know what you need to do to get ready for April 5th or April 6th when it all gets started. Is that how you feel right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've done this a few different times, but try to get as many reps out on the field, try to get the game timing down, and obviously get some at-bats to create some timing at the plate and go from there.
Talk to me big picture about this team. You've got some young guys, obviously, that are being worked into the mix. You've got guys like yourself, the veteran guys. You know, what's out there is out there. How do you feel as we get to the point where regular season games are right around the corner?
Like you said, they're right around the corner. I like it. I like the intensity. Obviously, like you said, we have some new faces playing some different positions. So it's going to be exciting to kind of see them mature and produce. And I'm excited to be a part of it.
Got a chance to sign some autographs for some fans here, too. That's what it's all about down here, right?
That's what it's all about.
Thanks for your time, Chase. I appreciate it. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you. Chase Utley will have a new double play partner this year with Freddie Galvis, but he has played enough with Freddie to kind of know his nuances. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shane Robinson, who is 1 for 3. Slaps it foul, out of play. I think the questions about Chase's ankle are kind of, he diffused them pretty early in spring training. The fact that he was doing a lot of things on the field, even though he was nursing the sore ankle, I think left everybody somewhat optimistic that he would be okay. In the dirt, 2-2. That one is pulled foul. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow the Phillies will be in Atlanta, or I should say in Orlando. Gotta be on your toes. That youngster nearly picked that one right into the air. Way outside. Phillies will be in Orlando tomorrow to take on the Braves, and then back here to take on the Astros on Wednesday. Dunedin on Thursday. The Yankees here on Friday. And there's ball 4. So Robinson's aboard. And a 1-out walk. It'll bring Escobar to the plate. Been kind of an easy day for Bob McClure.
It does.
David Buchanan solid through 5. Carnegie pitched a scoreless 6th. Then DeFreitas a scoreless 7th.
That's the first walk for the Phillies today.
He has 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. Not too shabby. It's all part of what Bob McClure said before the spring training started about Diekman keeping runners close over at first, too. At least trying to manage the running game. Robinson is quick. I don't think he'd be off and running here, but maybe. That one's chopped toward third. Nice play by Ashe. There's one. Hernandez is flipped to first, not in time. 5-4 on the put out, so 2 outs.
Shortstop, Eduardo Nunez.
Cody, nice play going to his left. Perfect feed. Unfortunately, Robinson gets down the line pretty quick.
Yeah, it's just the base runner basically beating that throw. And now Nunez, who's 1 for 3. Twins didn't bring a whole lot of guys today beyond their starting lineup, so they don't have a whole lot of substitutions to worry about. Popped him up right side, and Hernandez, shading his eyes from the sun, makes the catch. Somewhat uneventful 8th inning for Jake Diekman. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. Middle of the 8th when we return. Well, back here at Bright House Field, the Phils and the Twins. You can stay up to date on all the Phillies sports teams with the CSN Phillies Sports app. For breaking sports news, analysis from our insiders like Jim Salisbury, plus scores, schedules, and more, visit csnphilly.com/app and download the CSN Phillies Sports app today. Changes for the Twins. That's Beresford, who will take over at second. Moving from second to short is Bernier, showing his versatility. And the new catcher is Dan Rolfling. The 8 and the 4 were kind of shielded by his chest protector. Salcedo is the new pitcher. He'll take over here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Darren Ruff will be the batter. It's not often that you see only 3 pitchers used by one team in a spring training game, but we are getting to that point where guys are working deeper into games. 2 balls and no strikes. Kenny Giles has started to throw in the pen for the Phils. You see Salcedo's numbers: 2 strikeouts, an inning and 2/3. That one is rocketed into left field, a base hit. Darren Ruff can turn on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and he does right there. And Coy Hill will be the batter.
This is just a short, compact, and loud swing. Straight to the ball, head down. It's a pretty swing, the powerful swing. I'm still impressed with that home run he hit in Tampa. the other day versus the
Darren
Yankees.
Ruff, yeah.
Right center.
He definitely has the power to do it. And again, I think like a lot of people, you and I are included in that, just waiting to see if he gets a chance to do it every day. I don't know if he does, but he certainly could be a weapon off the bench. There's no doubt about that. Coy Hill's 0 for 11 this spring. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Matt, what about these Twins? I mean, what can they do in the American League Central? Do they have a chance against the likes of the Tigers and the Royals and the White Sox and the Indians?
Well, I think, one, they have to establish their starting pitching. You know, they're going to catch the ball. That's one thing about the Minnesota Twins. As long as I can remember, they play tremendous defense. And they should. They're out there every day practicing it. But they're going to have to go out and they're going to have to play extremely well. They're going to have to try to find scoring runs like the Phillies do.
It's going to be different not seeing Ron Gardenhire in their dugout as their manager. Hall of Famer Paul Molitor taking over.
Man, he could hit.
He could hit, boy. Ball 4. Hill is aboard. The Phillies are the first 2 batters on here in the 8th inning. The guy that could also hit is the guy that's their hitting coach now. Tom
Bernansky.
Pitching coach is Neil Allen. So here's Ashe. 3 home runs this spring.
Gene Glenn, wasn't he a long time with the Giants?
Giants, yeah.
And who's the bullpen coach?
Everyday Eddie.
Everyday Eddie.
Yep, Eddie Guardado.
Had many battles versus him over the years.
Outside corner, 0-1. Well, this is the difference, Matt, in the game. This is a pretty sweet swing back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, it is. Everything's just so quiet. Time is down. Hands to the ball. Flick of the wrist, and next thing you know, it's a 2-run homer.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. You wonder if the Twins will get somebody up and throwing shortly. Looks like Will Ledesma has gotten a baseball, the veteran. There he is.
That was an ex-teammate of mine way back when.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
A long time.
That one's hit sharply to second. That could be 2. There's 1 and 2. I don't know, Matt. If you got an ex-teammate a long time ago still playing, you got to grab a bat and get out there.
No chance.
If he's still playing, why can't you keep playing?
He's a lefty.
So are you. You're left-handed.
Tell you how long he's been around for right there, Will. Last time he got a win or a save in the big leagues, 2007.
Really?
Tremendous arm, though. Played in Mexico last year.
34 years old. All right, well, he is a little younger than you are.
A little.
Jordan Danks takes one low. It's off the glove of Ruffing, and scoring from third is Darren Ruff. It's 3-0 Phillies.
Well, that is all around. Nice job getting a single, reading the ball in the dirt, having a good secondary lead, and coming in, standing up. I was impressed with the jump he got from third base.
Yeah. Danks takes outside, 2-0. Andres Blanco is on deck. You got a green light Jordan Danks here?
Yep.
Why not? You got a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning.
This is where you say, let it eat.
inside, ball 4. Second walk. Let's see if they make a move. They probably won't now that they're 2 outs. By the way, they've called that a pass ball, not a wild pitch, to allow the run to score.
So that goes down as an unearned run.
That would go down as an unearned run, depending on what happens here.
Right.
If Blanco gets a hit. I would have gone wild pitch on that.
I would have too.
It was in the dirt, although it was a blockable ball. In the dirt, 1-1.
Definitely has a good arm, good movement. The only problem is he's not making an adjustment.
Surprised nobody, whenever he started playing, just tightened up his motion, just didn't put so many moving parts to it. You know what I mean? Make it a little simpler instead of the body jumping all over the place like Ubaldo Jimenez.
I love hearing the comments from fans. I really do.
Yeah, now that you're not playing, you like to hear them. A PHI, ball 4. That's the 3rd walk of the inning, and that's going to be it for him. Paul Molitor is coming out, and they're going to go get Will Ledesma. So the Phillies have scored a run on a pass ball. They do not have a hit in this inning, but 3 walks issued by the right-hander. And Will Ledesma will be the new pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. So pitching change here at Bright House Field with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Phillies on top 3-0. Phillies fans 14 and under, the Junior Phillies Club is now open for you to join. It's $15. You can get information and register by going to Phillies.com/Junior Phillies Club. 2015 Junior Phillies backpack, Ben Revere pop-up photo, and collectible magnets, membership card, and discounts and membership benefits. Well, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Number 68, Russ Hansler.
And Will Ledesma, one of Matt's former teammates, he's not picked up a victory in the big leagues. What did you say, since 2007?
2007.
Pitched for 3 teams, and actually, check that. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in 2007. At one time, though, he was
high prospect.
High prospect, yeah. He'll face Russ Hansler instead of McGinnis. McGinnis was introduced as the batter. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ledesma is a minor league player, invited to come to Bright House Field for today's game. It is the clean-shaven Russ Hansler. He had a full beard up until the other day. First pitch is over, 0-1.
Still has a good fastball at 96.
Chopper over to third, and that'll do it for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They do get a run on a pass ball after 3 walks were issued by the Twins bullpen. 3-0 Phils. We'll go to the 9th, and Kenny Giles is coming on. A whole lot of offense from a run standpoint. The Phillies have managed 8 base hits today, including a 2-run home run by Cody Ashe, who's played the whole way over third base. They'll try to close it out as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Kenny Giles in his 6th game this spring. 8 strikeouts and 5 2/3 for Giles. He has walked 5. It was really one game where his command was off more than anything else. But he's going to try to close this one out. It is a safe situation for him. So he's finishing up his warm-up tosses, and will face the middle of the Twins order, which is a little different than it was during the outset of this game. Eric Ferris will lead things off. Well, we always say, Matt, in spring training, it's better to be 10-9 or above 500 than it is to be below 500. For the Phillies, if they win today, it'll stop a 3-game losing streak. They've lost 6 of 7 in the spring. And it'll get them back to the 500 mark at 10-10-1 for the spring. Here's Ferris, and the first pitch is a fastball in there at 98 miles. Well, I guess he's stretched out. One ball and 1 strike. Ferris, then Rodriguez, has played the whole way for the Twins. Oh, some guy just made a one-handed catch onto the concourse, backhanded. Swing and a miss. He got it with a breaking ball. One away.
That is filthy right
Sure
there.
is. 7 strikeouts for Phillies pitching.
Just watch the lateness of this. Right there, just drops out. The bottom of it does. No chance.
So now Reynaldo Rodriguez. 0 for 3 today. He's played the whole way at first base. Joe Mauer will be the everyday first baseman for the Twins when the regular season rolls around. 1 ball, no strikes.
Suzuki, is that their everyday catcher?
Yeah. Kurt Suzuki from the A's and the Nationals. Torrey Hunter's their everyday right fielder.
Nice little reunion for him.
Yeah. Maybe finish up his career in Minnesota. Jake Diekman doing some autographing. One ball, 2 strikes. Murph, I'm not sure if that's a safe spot for you to be.
Well, I have Tim protecting me right here, too.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Chopper to shortstop, and Blanco will throw out Rodriguez. And there are 2 outs. What are you doing down there, by the way?
Well, I'm waiting to go do the post-game interview.
Are you hiding behind Jake?
And then Jake came over, signing autographs for some fans. Right, Jake? So
now you're protecting Jake.
Now I'm protecting Jake.
You have some peanuts?
I can get some peanuts. Yeah, okay.
Here's Beresford. On the outside corner, it's 0-1. How are the peanuts, Murph?
Salty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Might have to grab a drink.
Out to left field, playable, and Danks is there. It's a 1-2-3, 9th inning for Kenny Giles. Well, this is all about pitching here this afternoon for the Phils. It started with David Buchanan, 5 scoreless innings. The 2-run home run by Ashe was all the Phillies needed. And they win it today 3-0. They stop a 3-game spring training losing streak with their victory here this afternoon. David Buchanan picked up his 2nd spring training victory. Mike Pelfrey suffered the loss. He dropped to 0-2. Kenny Giles earned the save. It's his first of the spring. So this is what the pitchers did today. Just 1 walk. And they wound up picking up 7 strikeouts along the way. And each and every one of them, Matt, had a lot of positives to what they did here today.
No, they did. They all threw strikes. They all pounded the strike zone. They just didn't do it just with the fastball. We saw Giles throw the fastball and the slider. Diekman mixed in some very nice sliders. And I really liked the location of DeFreitas' fastball today. Was down at the bottom of the zone. And when he needed to mix in a good slider, he did.
All right, so the Phillies pick up their 10th victory of the spring. They're now 10-10-1. After their work today. Again, the 2-run home run by Cody Ashe proved to be all they needed for the victory here today. Ryan Sandberg saying hello to some of the Twins coaches, or goodbye in this case. Neil Allen, Gene Glynn, Paul Molitor, of course, the manager. So the first time ever 2 Hall of Famers have skippered against each other. And the Phils walk away with the victory 3-0 over the Minnesota Twins. Buchanan, as we mentioned, gets the victory. It's his 2nd one of the spring. And Kenny Giles gets his first save. He was pretty dominant today, Murph, and he gets a chance to sit down or stand up and chat with you.
Yeah, we're going to stand up, but nice job get the save today, Ken Giles, and really a nice job by the entire pitching staff. We'll get to that in a minute, but how'd you feel out there in a save situation in a tight game?
Oh, it felt really good. My body's starting to respond the way I want it to. I mean, slowly but surely, but we're getting better every time.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, obviously, at this time of the year. But you hit 98 on the gun today. Do you concern yourself with that? I mean, we're all waiting for that triple digit, which I know you can get when you want. But are you worried about that, or are you just out there throwing?
Right now, it's just building arm strength right now. I mean, it doesn't matter down here in spring training. All that matters is when I do it in the season.
All right, talk big picture, because, lots of zeros up there on the board for your pitching staff today. David did a great job to start. And then, kind of in order, you guys came in. This is what we're going to hope to see during the regular season.
Oh, yeah, you're going to expect us to do this all year, every year. I mean, I think that's going to be the biggest key. I mean, we're just going to go up there and pump strikes and just try to put up zeros.
When are you ready to go back north at this point, or are you, hey, Cody, nice to see you. Are you ready to head back north, or do you feel like you got a little bit more work to do before we go?
I feel like I need a little bit more work, maybe a few more innings in me, and then we'll head up north to Philly.
All right, look forward to it. Ken Giles, thank you very much, guys. Back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. So Cody Ashe's 2-run home run, the difference, but the difference today was also the pitching of the Phils. They win at 3-0 over the Twins. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.